Hey, what's up, guys? Taylor Trader back again for another weekly review. Today's date is October 10, 2020. This week was a pretty good week. We had one thing we had to deal with, and we're gonna go over that. The account right now is at 43K. Um, I have no stock right now because I'm not using Boeing anymore. I don't have Boeing anymore. Boeing, the news came out on Tuesday, basically saying, their forecast for production and demand is going to be cut for years. I didn't like that. The whole years thing and seeing that they have earnings in 2 weeks and the last time they got murdered on earnings, um, I'm not really liking that sentiment. So you can see this day we were pushing up. I thought we were gonna push up all this stuff, and that news came out, and you can see the selling. I sold at like 166, but you can see that day we went down, and I thought we would continue going down, but we didn't. Well, it's fine. I walk away from Boeing, knowing hey, it was a good trade. It just the stock just never recovered for 4 months, and that is kind of worrisome on one side of it, and I'm not gonna. I would have held it if we didn't have this bad news, even through earnings, the even through the election. If we didn't have this news, but this news, makes it a lot more risky to hold in my eyes. So I'm just gonna part ways from it. Um, but that's just my thought on it, right? Everybody has their own opinion. All right, so trades for this week. Um, this week was a good week. So we ending the week down $800 because we took this $2,000, 1,900, yeah, $2,000 loss on Boeing. So in the 4 months, I made like 4,300, and I gave half of it back. But as I said again, I just don't like the new forecast, right? Because I think this data should have came out months ago, so they're just feeding us scraps of whatever they want to feed us whenever they feel like feeding us. So they're doing this now so that I think they're doing this now so they don't get killed on earnings, so they're just making this drop now so they can make their earnings seem a little bit better. That's what I think, but as again, I left my crystal ball in the market. So this week, win was pretty good. I had the 68 puts on win. Took those off on Monday, and then I rolled up to the 71 puts, right? So I sold the 71 puts. Should have probably hold these a little bit longer, um, but I wanted to set myself up for next week because Win had some good news. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna set myself up for next week. But man, Win was great until Friday morning. Come Friday, it sold out Friday morning. I'm like, are you serious? Right? But it is what it is, right? We just deal with it. So yeah, so all in all this week I made, 380 off win. So that's still good. It's not nothing to go around. We had Chewy. This was a decent trade. Still took it off too early. Same for TNA. Should have kept this, but it is what it is, man. I'm not gonna even go around the shit. Penn, me and Penn was fighting all week for my money, man. That's really what it is. I wanted my money from Penn. I'm not gonna hide it. And sometimes it's just good to go with your mindset. Like I pulled it off because Um, I didn't like what I see this day, so I pulled it off, put it back on, and the same thing is happening again. And you can see down here, I pulled it off twice on. This is another day down here, and I had to pull it off twice again because it's doing the same thing. And then I put it back on, and I got 50% of the profit, and that was it for the week. So I sold my last set of contracts before the election. Like I'm not gonna sell anything more. Once I close these trades out, I close them out. If I gotta roll them, I gotta roll them. So I have pen for future, and that's that. I also sold some more Chewies. It's a 50% of the profits. I'll take it. DraftKings, because Penn did an offering last week, I guess DraftKings want to do an offering this week. I'm like, are you serious? Right? That is bullshit in my eyes. But because they did an offering like 3 months ago, so that was, so I pulled it off here, and their offering was priced at $52. So I was like, okay. So I made my trades for 45 and 46. They're 2 weeks away, but they have dropped down to 48 right now. So, you know, it's a lot of selling there. I don't know exactly, what's going on the inside. These Boeings were my covered calls and stuff, and I just took them off. Boeing did that dumb stuff, once Boeing did that stuff, I just pull these off because I'm just like, I just don't want to be in this stock right now because it's kind of, it just not dealing the way I expect it to. And I just walked away from it. So I just pulled my covered calls off Boeing. I just didn't want to deal with that. Uh, Chewy, I had a Chewy trade on for next week. 3 contracts at 94, and I bought these back on Friday because I wanted to downsize going into the weekend, just in case we get some bad news. I don't want to be holding too much going in the weekend. I want to sit at 50% margin. So I pulled these off. I should have probably waited until at the bell because I would have probably netted another, $50 off this because Chewy ran up into the end of the day. Microsoft, I was doing this. I thought I was doing it with another guy named Aaron, but I guess he didn't get filled. But I had these Microsofts for next week, and $160 for this contract, and Microsoft ran up on Friday. So I bought it back at $45 because the theta was $10 and the delta was $10, so it's just not gonna move that much anymore. So I was just like, yeah, I'll just take this right here. This is 70% of the profit. So, and as I said, I wanted to lighten up during the week because Microsoft for me is like, I think it's like 4 grand margin to hold that contract. I think it's around 4 grand. So, want to lighten it up. I had these puts on Apple. Basically, um, based on where I see we're trading in the range, the lower end is like $13, and we're trying to break out, and we end up breaking out on Friday on Apple. We end up breaking out and push it up top on Friday after hours, which was kind of surprising. You can see right here, Friday we close around right here, and we ran up almost another dollar up to 118. So I took that trade off. Um, I took that trade off back here because it seemed like it's going to be another selling day at the end of the day, right? So I took the trade off. I was like, okay, I'll remount it if we get some strength. So we tried to push, we couldn't push, and when I saw us pushing back again, I put it back on because I felt like Apple's gonna run. So the initial trade was for $424. I was up 50%, and as I said, I wanted to go in the weekend light, so I bought it back, made $207, and then when I saw that strength, I basically said, I'll hold the Apple. It's not that terrible. So I put it back on, 2 contracts at $100 each. So June me taking it up on whatever I lost, $14 of profits that I could have gained, but it is what it is, right? So for next week, I have that Apple back on. I have this pen. This is for 2 weeks out, and as I said, pen already fell. Pen fall on me. So too is DraftKings. So those two have fallen on me. Win two has fallen. So basically everything except Apple right now is kind of down on me. But I'll just roll them if I need to roll them. But right now they're 2 weeks out. So the only thing I have expiring next week is Apple and Pen. And I'm not gonna put anything else on. Year to date for me, still sitting at 2650. This month is I'm starting in a hole, but I'm not gonna dig myself out by putting trades on unless it's something that I see that looks really good, then I'll take it, but I'm not gonna put any trades on because we're going into the election. So my goal is to keep, you know, This is my account value. This is my maintenance margin. So this can never be more than your account value unless you get margin called. So you can see right now I'm sitting at 50%. So my goal is to get down to, maybe like 30%. So if once I get win off the books this week, obviously I'm going to be down more, down more, down more. But just to get down more, just so, if we get a nasty drop during the election, it doesn't affect me. Even right now, I would be fine because um, the drops that I expect to happen, they won't be that terrible. Even if some of these stocks drop 30%, it wouldn't affect me that bad. All right, I'm gonna stop rambling here. Let me know where you guys traded and how did your week went. My week was pretty good in my eyes. You know, if I didn't close out Boeing, I would have made $1,300. So basically in my eyes, it's a $1,300 week, but on paper, I close out Boeing at a loss. So that's why it looks like that. But to me, this is a good week. I give it a thumbs up. Better than some of the other weeks I have because I didn't really do any dumb plays, that I'm known to do, right? Yeah, so I'm happy with the week, and I'm happy with my outlook for the rest of October. So basically, I'm just closing out these plays, going in there, and I foresee myself holding Apple and maybe one more through the election. So we'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching my video again. I'm gonna leave because I start rambling again. Peace.